Two young surprise lock-ins headline Chili Bowl Tuesday, plus the World of Outlaws Sprint Car full-time roster adds another. Toyota Sprint Car engines go on sale officially and more. Let's go. It's Wednesday, January 15th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. Tuesday at the Chili Bowl officially became the surprise night of the week, I guess at least so far anyway. If you say you had Landon Brooks and Brenham Crouch 1-2 and locking into Saturday before yesterday's program, I guarantee you are full of crap. But that's exactly what you got. Both guys locked in for the first time, and both will make their first ever championship main event starts. I did say yesterday that Brooks was a dark horse pick, so I will gladly take at least some credit for that, but I did not expect him to come out on top of that field. And Crouch has taken some heat in recent weeks and months for his silly season move on the sprint car side from his family-owned team to the CJB car. He didn't even run Chili Bowl in 2024, with his two previous appearances resulting in a Saturday C and a Saturday D in 2022 and 2023. I definitely think he deserves some positive attention today for stepping up on a big stage and taking a leap forward. I know he's going to be working with Paul McMahon this season as a mentor. I saw Paul in Victory Lane last night. This is going to be a big confidence boost for Crouch and something to build on. The big mover of the night, Buddy Kofoid, but it wasn't because he was super fast and had all that type of stuff. He got clobbered, absolutely clobbered in that second qualifier by Corbin Rueschenberg and spent the rest of the night trying to fight back from that. He about tore the fence down in turn 4. And while those fence repairs were happening, the KKM squad did an incredible job to put a new front end in that car and get Kofoid back out. But he did need to make a B main appearance. He won that and then drove from 18th to 3rd in the main event. He definitely had the speed to win, but probably ran out of laps. He'll start at the front of a B come Saturday, but his chances to win the Driller, I think, are going to be slim coming from that far back. Kofoid's night was really a microcosm for many of the expected contenders on Tuesday. A lot of them had issues. Zach Daum didn't make it out of the B main. Hank Davis, Jonathan Beeson, Kofoid, Timez all needed B main transfers. Brad Sweet crashed out of the feature, as did Clinton Boyles and Timez. Boyles definitely the heartbreak of the night. Hunter Schoenberg, way down the order. KTJ finished 13th after starting 3rd. And outside of Kofoid, the night really belonged to some of those lesser-known names. The guy who's getting absolutely hammered online today is Corbin Rueschenberg. Obviously, the qualifier tangle with Kofoid. There was also a late race dust-up with Ricky Thornton Jr. in that same race. RTJ not happy about that. There was a feature situation with KTJ and just lots of other not-so-great moments. Afterwards, in an interview with Matt Weaver, he didn't seem to be too remorseful about any of it. I guess that's just the Chili Bowl for you. Back to Brooks and Crouch. They joined Kyle Larson and Shane Golubic in that locked-in group. Brooks' win was also the first in the building for Matt Wood Racing. Today in Tulsa, they are right back at it again with a fresh group. Same schedule, hot laps at 4 Central, heats at 5. Today's field includes Daison Pursley, Emerson Axsom, Corey Day, Jake Swanson, Blake Hahn, Colby Copeland, and Mitchell Moles. You'll also see Sammy Swindell, plus the debuts for guys like Gordy Gundaker and Alex Yankowski. Corey Day was the Wednesday winner a year ago. He looked fast the other night in the Race of Champions. He's definitely going to be one to watch tonight. Jake Swanson was the other lock-in car last year, and he's obviously back driving again for Alex Bowman. Daison Pursley struggled on Wednesday last year, and if you might remember, that set up that epic run on Saturday where he started 4th in the D and then ran all the way to 4th in the feature by the end of the night. Flow Racing again with live coverage if you are not headed to Tulsa today. And side note, if you are curious, we talked about all of the Chili Bowl tech stuff on the show yesterday. That involved the chassis checks, the tire doping checks, and the traction control stuff. If you haven't watched that, go check out yesterday's show. I traded a few messages with Tech Director Cody Cordell yesterday. He did tell me that nobody has been thrown out of the building so far for any of those rules violations. And as I said yesterday, you'd hope that that would be the case with all of the advance warnings that teams had before the event. Moving on to proceedings away from the Chili Bowl, but sort of related. The World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series and Roth Motorsports did confirm officially yesterday Buddy Kofoid will return to the series full-time for year 2. His rookie year got off to a slow start at Volusia, but after that, the team settled in and they closed out 2024 very strong. 6 of their 7 wins came in the last 16 Outlaw races, and that included a $100,000 score at Huset's. At one point, he looked unstoppable, winning 4 times in 5 races and finishing on the podium in 8 straight. In the final rundown, he was fourth in the standings with 7 wins, 32 top 5s, and 53 top 10s in 65 races. If it wasn't the best rookie year in the history of the Outlaws, it was certainly near the top, and this team could be formidable this coming season again. This whole crew is back, including crew chief Dylan Buswell. The Toyota engine program continues, as does support from Mobil 1. We talk about David Gravel and Carson Macedo, but Buddy Kofoid could be a legit championship contender in 2025. They need to eliminate some of those bad nights and improve their average finish by about 2 positions. That would put them squarely in the fight next year. The confirmation of Kofoid now brings the Outlaws to 11, with that list also including Gio Scelzi, David Gravel, Carson Macedo, Donnie Schatz, Logan Schuchart, Sheldon Hodenshield, Cole Macedo, Garrett Williamson, Chris Windham, and Bill Baylog. Word on the street is the Bill Rose 6 is probably back, and driver plans are expected to be finalized there soon. There are still a few other possible wildcard additions for the Outlaws in the pipeline. We'll have to wait and see about that. The World of Outlaws Sprint Car season begins in about 3 weeks. Actually, I think 3 weeks exactly from today. In that Roth Kofoid release, there was no mention of the second sprint car team. That's no surprise. I just wanted to point that out. What was announced, though, was that the Toyota Racing, or the TRD, is now officially taking orders for their 410 sprint car engine. Remember, Toyota Racing Development been working on this engine for the last several years, and we've been hearing that, they were going to be on sale, but officially now you can get one. They will have contingency deals in place with the Outlaws, High Limit, and Knoxville Raceway, and both Speedway Engine Development and Ryder Racing Engines will be offering TRD power plants for sale. If you might remember back to April last year, I had a Daily Show segment where I talked about the Roth Motorsports sprint car teams effectively operating separately. Buddy Kofoid's car being kept in Knoxville, James McFadden's car being in Indianapolis. McFadden's crew chief, Brent Ventura, and the Roth Motorsports social media folks voiced their displeasure at me for pointing that out, but this engine situation was another difference that I'd heard about between the two cars. One was supposedly running the Ryder Toyota and the other the Speedway Toyota. And looking around at some photos, it looks like Kofoid was likely on the Ryder Toyota at least more often, and McFadden the Speedway. I do know that at various points too, McFadden actually used both engines, and based on the results, I'd say both are potent pieces. McFadden getting his Roth 83 into High Limit into that charter spot. We just obviously talked about Kofoid stats. So you can now get the traditional Chevy-based 410s from various builders. You can get Fords from Shaver and Toyotas from Speedway and Ryder. I'll be curious to see where some of these other engines kind of start popping up. If guys are curious about these, if we'll start seeing these bought and maybe tried instead of some of the more traditional options. Staying with the World of Outlaws, but switching to the late model side, they've added 2 more signed drivers to their full-time roster for 2025. Yesterday, they announced the return of Daniel Hilzebeck, and today came the news that Tristan Chamberlain is back. Hilzebeck actually fell off the Outlaw Tour back in June last year when he broke his wrist in a crash at Brownstown. He'll try again to fight it out starting next week at Volusia. And Chamberlain will look to build on a rookie campaign that saw the 17-year-old driver pick up 6 top 10s on the season. Hilzebeck and Chamberlain, I believe, take the Outlaws to 18 total full-timers right now. At last check on a Daily Show, I had Kyle Bronson as the 13th guy. Since then, we know they've added Max Blair, sort of. Justin Walker is back, as is Tyler Bruning, and now these two, so I think that's 18. Some other drivers who could still sign between Lucas and the Outlaws include Drake Troutman and Tanner English, and I haven't heard what a guy like Jimmy Owens has planned, so there's still some guys floating out there that we don't know national tour plans for just yet. Alrighty, friends, we'll call it good right there for today. Make sure to stop by DIRTRACKR.com to see all the latest news releases, the streaming schedule, and the Dirt Racing podcast page. Always lots of good stuff over there. Hope you guys have a great Wednesday out there. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.